From Burke High School, Cox Cable Omaha Sports 9 presents Metro Boys High School Basketball. Tonight, it's the number 2 ranked Bulldogs of Omaha Burke versus the Papillion Monarchs. Tonight's game is brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. Another high school basketball game on Sports 9. I'm Terry Leahy with the play-by-play, and a real treat tonight. I am joined for the color by Terry Sodawasser, the starting senior center for the University of Nebraska at Omaha Mavericks. Terry, good to have you along. You're going to see a great high school basketball team in Burke out here tonight.
Well, I'm sure I will. Number 2 in the state, 13-1. They had a good ball game the other night against Northwest. I'm looking forward to seeing a good game.
Terry, we're going to get set for our national anthem that will be played by the Omaha Burke High School Band. The crowd is on their feet. And here is our national song. The sights and sounds of high school activities in Nebraska, specifically the Metro Conference. We're at Burke High School tonight. I'm Terry Leahy along with Terry Sodawasser. Starters are being introduced for Papillion at guard. Number 23 is Todd Kocha, 5'10 senior. For Burke at guard, number 12, 5'8 senior Derek Helms, the All-Stater. Here's Scott Abels, the other guard for the Papillion Monarchs. He will go up against Bruce Peoples, number 24 of Burke. Here's Brian Redrow. He'll be a forward for the Monarchs. Played very well in the game on Sports 9 against Omaha North before Christmas. And Milton Schob, a forward for Omaha Burke, is number 44. The coach's son, Kelly Muma, fine wing player. And at the post for Omaha Burke is Dan Olson, the fine 6'5 junior center. Number 51 for Papillion is Levi Webster, a 6'3" sophomore, and starting for the Bulldogs is number 52, a 6'1" senior Dana Jenkins. And Terry, Dana Jenkins, one of the most exciting players in the conference and in the state, and that whole Burke team is really a fun team to watch. And before we go on, though, we have to mention Papillion is 5-8. But Dick Muma, their head coach, has always had a very, very fine, tough program out there. They've always competed well since they've come into this conference, and that whole school district really gets behind their team. They're out here tonight. And watch out for Papillion against this team here on a Tuesday night after a big weekend for Burke against Lincoln Southeast. Then last week, they lost to Northwest, but it was such a great basketball game. And you and I were talking to John Johnette about that, the Burke coach.
Yeah, I think we're going to see a good game tonight. I think Burke is going to have to be ready to play. If they're not, Papillion, with not a real outstanding record, just come by and surprise them and beat them here on their home floor.
Here's Derek Helms for Burke, free throw line extended. Here's Olson right up top, number 50. They'll swing it around. Papillion in a 2-3 zone, and Olson off the glass makes it 2-0. He could do a lot of that. Come out, handle the basketball out there. It's 6'5".
6'5", and they have him away from the basket. That gives a lot of openings for the Burke offense, able to have him played outside in the wing like that.
3 seconds called, a turnover, and Burke will get a chance to add to the lead here very early from Burke High School. High school basketball on Sports 9. They're zoning them. Helms, count it. Derek makes it 4-0. Some pressure down the court, and a blocking foul here will be against Peoples.
Burke, I think, is going to try and use a lot of full court pressure tonight, man-to-man basically. I think they're a lot quicker than Papillion, so I think we're going to see a lot of pressure from them tonight.
First team foul of the half for the Bulldogs. Papillion, very good poise inside. They turned it over there. Here's Helms back the other way. Jenkins, he loves that spot. Doesn't get a great shot off there. Schob takes the rebound away. High off the glass. It's 6-0.
Burke is hitting the glass hard, and it's paying off for him right now. That, you know, they've gone to the offensive board and he's got a couple of easy baskets.
Kocha penetrates, trying to find Redrow. He couldn't answer off the glass, and here's Helms. Plenty of Monarchs back, but look at him go to the glass. They're going to count the basket.
Fine move. We had a quick outlet pass, and again, Burke is using their running game, their transition, and their speed to out-finesse Papillion.
That fouls against Abels. His first personal. Derek is at the line. Each team has a team foul. Substitutions for Dick Muma's team into the game is 35. That is Steve Dennis, who started most of the year for the Monarchs. Levi Webster leaves. Muma looks for the outlet here. Rest of the Monarchs clear out, and they bring it down and get into a half-court offense, and a foul against Burke. Against Derek Helms, second team foul of the half, and Derek's first personal. We will mention at this time that the officials for this game, Jim Vinson and Jim Spencer, veteran Metro Conference referees. 6:21 left. The Bulldogs by 8. They're ranked number 2 in the state. Schob watches Muma. Another 3-second violation.
Papillion's attacking a 1-3-1 zone there, played by Burke, and it looks to me like they're having a little bit of a problem with it, not knowing quite where to penetrate, where to find those seams.
Webster quickly back into the game for Steve Dennis. Olsen was way out on top. He stays there. Here's Peoples. Helms loves to penetrate. He's good at it. He'll fall away with that one. Nice rebound taken by Redrow. Good outlet. Here's Webster. Peoples back, and a foul's called against Bruce.
Burke didn't have a real high percentage shot there, and they had everybody crashing the boards, and Papillion took advantage of that and got out on a break quick and got a foul, possibly 2 points from the free throw line.
Peoples has 2 personals. That's the third team foul on Burke. Levi Webster is at the line, a sophomore, 6'3" He does get 2. Burke now by 7. First quarter of action on Sports 9.
Left-hander puts it up, and it was good. He's got nice form.
Right through the middle. Burke, you better get set on defense right away. They'll come right back and get set. Helms. The tip in there by Schob. Then he takes the rebound.
Nice penetration by Helms, and Schob does a fine job on the boards and stays with it. Gets an easy 2.
Milton has 4. I said against Northwest that Helms has patented that move to the basket. A foul's called. It's against Dana Jenkins. Burke has 4 team fouls. Dana's first personal. Redrow leaves the game in place of Steve Dennis. Here's Damon Ross into the game for Bruce Peoples. Damon is a junior. He is 5'7". He'll play guard. And he guards Scott Abels. So that's Helms against Abels. Ross is denying the ball to Kelly Muma on the wing near side. And a turnover.
With the lineup that's in the game right now, I think Papillion is going to have a hard time bringing the ball up the court. They have Burke has 2 very small, very quick guards in the game in Ross and Helms. And I think this is going to be a quick team, and we're going to see a lot of fast breaks right now.
Damon sends it across to Derek Helms. Olson on top. Nice penetration. Shot doesn't go by Show, but look who's in there battling for it. A foul is called. Helms followed that shot and snuck in along the baseline. We'll check the call here. It's going to be against Webster. He has one personal, second team foul. The All-Stater Derek Helms to the line. He almost tied that game out at Northwest last week. What an effort by both of those teams.
And talking to the Burke coach earlier tonight, they said that they had the ball in the hands of the man that is shooting his free throw right now. That's who they wanted to shoot. And unfortunately, the shot didn't go down. And unfortunately for Derek right now, he stepped across that free throw line a bit early, costing him a point at the free throw line.
He has 5 points. And here's the pressure that Terry Sodawasser was talking about. Helms had it, trying to save it. It went back to Papillion. Steve Dennis can't handle the baseball pass.
There was that quickness I was talking about.
4:51 left.
I think it's important for Papillion right now to take advantage of turnovers and opportunities like that. They have to be patient, take the ball at Burke in order to win this game.
The cutter was Ross, and the pass was taken by Webster. Papillion changed their defense a little bit there, didn't they, Terry?
Papillion was in a 1-3-1. Possibly it was a half-court trap, but it was a 1-3-1 zone. Time down the court before, they were playing in a man-to-man.
Quick hands, 3-on-1 Helms. He has Jenkins with him. He's just going to lay it in.
Again, there's that quickness.
The Bulldogs by 11. Here's the trap. Abels gets out of it with the pivot. That'll belong to Papio. Coming in is Paul Toole. He'll come in for Scott Abels.
Now it's important right now for Papillion to take care of the ball, get a good shot off, try and get themselves back in this ball game. They are down 11 with only 4 minutes left in the first quarter.
Kocha, nice bounce pass. Toole gets right in there against the Giants. Burke back the other way. Here's Ross, 2-on-3. Papillion gets back. Damon is short. Jenkins, count it.
Burke is going those boards. Papillion is going to have to do a little bit better job checking off, or they're going to have a long night ahead of them.
First 2 points for Dana Jenkins. Foul against Damon Rossabert. Papillion is in the bonus, and Ross has one personal foul. At the line, this is Todd Kocha. Aren't they cat quick?
I've never seen a team quite quicker than this, Terry. It's kind of amazing to me to see so many of them. You know, normally you have 1 or 2 players that are quick.
Olson skies through there trying to get Helms' rebound, and he's called for the foul.
Nobody really checked him off. It's unfortunate that he did get called for the foul. Ball took a funny hop off the rim, and he just happened to jump onto somebody's back, which is illegal.
Olson has 1. Moving to the line for the 1-and-1 will be Steve Dennis. Do a lot of teams against a press, and they know that's coming, sometimes they don't take the time that they have to throw the inbounds pass?
I think that happens a lot. You have to show a lot of patience and a lot of discipline when you go up against a team that does throw on a quick press like Burke does have. And like I said before, you have to have a lot of patience at the offensive end.
Here's the 1-3-1 by the Monarchs. Show the Jenkins. Nice jumper. He has 2 field goals, 4 points. The number 2 rated Bulldogs rolling along. Here's Muma. Webster gets it back out, and it's going to be a turnover. Almost a 4-on-1 for Burke, but it's going to turn into an easy layup for Kocha Papillion. Bulldogs quickly back the other way. Show with the pull-up. He can't get it in. Coach's first field goal. Here's Helms on the turnover. Double pump in.
Papillion is going to have to start taking care of that ball. That's their 6th turnover here in the first quarter to make that 7.
2-on-1. Ross is taking the pass from Helms, and he can't get it in. Here's Olson with a beautiful pass. People getting excited here. They have to settle down the Monarchs. Now they can do something. There goes the scorebook for the night, Terry. Muma could hit that shot. He doesn't there. Quickly, 2:07 left. The Bulldogs. The big lead here in the first quarter.
Facing the 1-3-1 zone, and Damon Ross has pulled it out a little bit, trying to set up the offense.
Burke loves to do it. Give and go. Show from Jenkins. Milton has 6. Great poise in there along the key by Dana Jenkins. He hits his running mate Milton Show.
Burke in a man-to-man, doing a little trapping off the weak side.
Up for grabs. Papillion will have it. Here's Abels into the game. Redrow into the game, and leaving for the Monarchs, Paul Toole is one player and Kelly Muma the other. A 1-3-1 by Papillion. Are the advantages to trying to fence that free throw line extended area a little better?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. I kind of don't agree with the 1-3-1 myself. I think it's too hard to give up those baseline jumpers, and Burke has taken advantage of that and hit, I think, 3 or 4 of them. And here's another one put up.
Show can't get it.
Doesn't fall. Olson with a nice follow.
It sure was. He was fouled.
Went to the offensive boards hard, and it did pay off for him. He got a basket and has got a trip to the free throw line here. Third possible 3-point play.
The foul is against Webster, his third team foul for Papio. Olson to the line. Robert Watson into the game for the Bulldogs. And Dan is able to...
He gets that shooter's roll off the front of the rim.
He has 5. Coming up on a minute left, first quarter. Olson, nice effort. Foot race, it goes to Helms. It gets Abels. Won't go, and it's followed by Jenkins. And they're going to wipe it out for interference, I think. Jim Spencer, he comes to the scorer's table, and he points out there was basket interference.
That play all started on a fine effort by Dan Olson at the defensive end. Saved the ball, threw it behind the back pass down court to Helms. And a good follow by Jenkins. Unfortunately, it didn't count. It was offensive goaltending.
That's Kocha. He finds Redrow off the glass. Redrow's first field goal. Papillion scored 2 field goals on their last 2 possessions. Derek Helms rolls her in.
Fine penetration by Derek. Going to make a good college player somewhere.
He has 16 seconds left. Papillion, nice job. That's Watson watching Kocha on the bounce pass. Traveling was called as Derek Helms made the interception. Everybody's still talking about the.
You can hear a lot of murmuring, I guess you might want to call it, in the background.
9 seconds left.
2-3 zone.
That shot is blocked. Here comes Shobe. He has 4 seconds left. He'll pull up. Watson with a tip. That'll count. That'll end the first quarter here from Burke High. 28-9. The Bulldogs lead. Terry and I will be back for the second quarter in a moment. Omaha Burke leads it 28-9 over Papillion, and the Monarchs in that first quarter had 9 turnovers to 4 for the Bulldogs. Up and down game, wasn't it, Terry Sodawasser?
Very much so up and down. And again, at the beginning of the show tonight, we commented on Burke's quickness, and it's shown in the turnover ratio. And if the Monarchs aren't careful, they're going to run into a long night.
Derek Helms has 11 points for Omaha. uniforms attacking now. Terry Leahy and Terry Sodawasser on Sports 9 with the action. Look at that pass. Watson gets it off the glass. Assist to Jenkins.
Papillion changed defenses that time down the court. They were in a man-to-man. Burke picked it up well.
Abels gets to Muma. Muma shoots a pass to Kocha along the baseline, who comes back to Abels, who finds Muma, can't get it off the glass. Show with the big rebound. Bulldogs. Helms. Too short with that. Here's Watson. Olsen is in there, but it rolls in. Robert has 3 field goals now. Here's Muma, guarded by Dan Olsen. He goes with a left-handed dribble drive. The pass to Whipster. Shot was too long. This game's going back and forth. We're going to have to just watch it here as Dana Jenkins can't get it off the glass.
Papillion has to take care of the ball right here, take advantage of a few missed layups.
They catch the break there. Kocha takes it into his hands and has the shot.
Very important for Papillion to take care of the ball right now, get a few good buckets, get themselves back in this ball game before halftime.
Todd has 4 on a couple field goals.
Again, we're seeing a man-to-man by Papillion, trying to protect the basket a little bit. It almost looks like a 2-3 zone, but it is a man.
Milton Schob, he has 8 points now. Shot that over Muma. 6:14 left in the half. Abels gets the double pump shot, won't go at all. Here's Dan Olsen.
Olsen on the dunk off a fine outlet pass. He was able to release off that missed shot. Got an outlet pass at half court. Nobody around him, went in for a hard jam. The crowd sure likes it. We have people on our feet here.
What an outlet. Papillion takes their first time out of the game.
I think it's a very important timeout. They've got to settle the crowd down a little bit and try and organize his players somewhat. I imagine they're a bit frustrated, down 36-11 early in the second period.
Robert Watson had the personal there. And John Johnnett's going to make a lot of substitutions now. Pete Scala, the other center for his team. Pete is number 54. He's a 6'5" senior. He'll come in probably for Dan Olsen. I saw Kent Thurkelson check in before the stoppage in play. Thurkelson will be number 20, and Kent is a 5'8" junior. There's John Johnette. Terry, you're from Davenport, Iowa, and you probably have a lot of coaches around there that are so dedicated to the game of high school basketball and fine teachers, and that's one for the Omaha area that he's just been outstanding for so many years out here.
I'm sure I've heard a lot about the Burke program. They've got a good reputation as far as being a quality program, and I have to give coaches a lot of credit for something like that do stick with it.
Bill Esping is also in for Burke, and Odell Morgan is in. That shot doesn't go. And here's Esping to Morgan. Odell is a junior, and he plays a lot. And Robert Watson.
Burke in their spread type offense, they were talking with the coach earlier tonight. He said they use this and try and open up some free cuts to the basket and open up a little bit more of a one-on-one situation.
That is Kent Thurkelson. Right off the bench, first shot, he has 2 points. Here's a turnover. 2 Monarchs trying to get back on Watson, and they're able to make the play.
Good defensive play. Got that hand in there, knocked that ball loose, knocked it off of Robert Watson's leg, and it's going to go back to Papillion.
Bob Gordon comes in for the Monarchs. He will replace Todd Kocha. Pressure now, full court, handled by Gordon, who just goes down the side. He's watched by Thurkelson, and there's the trap along with Watson. Leads the play for Thurkelson. Morgan can't handle it, and neither could Kelly Muma. 5 minutes exactly left in the half. Watson will launch it. And there is Webster and the outlet. That's Paul Toole. He'll play forward. Gordon is on the point. Toole came all the way around from the weak side, and he makes a nice jumper.
Papillion seems a little bit settled down right now. Still down by 25 in the second half, or in the second quarter here, but I'm sure the coach will get him under control a little bit better.
The cutter was Thurkelson, and a nice block by Webster. Here's Gordon, other way. Toole right in the lane. Gordon got to the baseline, and he has the basketball. And it's out of bounds, though, to Burke. I guess at the beginning of the telecast, we talked about Burke being number 2 ranked, Terry. I wanted to get in, and they're rolling along here, but I wanted to get in about Papillion because they're having their problems now, but Dick Muma has had some great basketball teams out there, very solid, and I know some coaches that hated to go to Papillion. They have always pulled some big upsets. Ask Mike Wilmot out at Creighton Prep. He's had some teams out there that couldn't escape South 84th Street.
Well, I'm sure, Dick Muma is a coach, just as we said of the Burke coach a little while ago. He's got that dedication, and he's worked hard, and he's developed a program at Papillion. And with people coming in and programs and your athletes changing all the time, it's hard to have success all of the time, but he has got that tradition, and teams have to be prepared for it.
Terry Thomas is number 30, guarding Paul Toole. He came in for Robert Watson. Redrow, free throw line extended jumper. Bryant has 2 field goals. Terry Thomas is another quick kid. He played flanker on Larry Jacobson's football team, Terry, and he had a tremendously important touchdown pass, catch, and run play against Lincoln Southeast in the state playoffs, and oh my, is he quick. And he feeds off to Bill Esping, who can't get that one. He'll have his rebound. That foul goes against Kelly Muma. That's his first personal. I have Papio with 14 fouls, so Burke could get in the bonus on the next one. Scala takes the inbounds almost. Here's the man that threw it into him. And that man, Bill Esping, gets the field goal. He has 2 now.
Terry, I think personally, Burke is got Papillion shaken. They've come down the court I don't know how many times and just thrown the ball away. They have to take more time, a little bit more patience. They have 10 seconds to get across that half-court line, and I don't think they're doing that, and it's costing them in this game.
Thurkelson has 4 after the right-handed layup. 2:43 left. Burke rolling along here, and now they could roll onto the offensive here. That pass to Terry Thomas knocked out of his hand. Coach it back in for Bob Gordon. A lot of kids get to play here. Here's Scott Abels in for Papillion, and that's important too in a game like this. I've seen coaches, I was in Apke's locker room when I was working down at Creighton, where he'd be very upset with a win as Thurkelson launches that shot. He'd be very upset with a win that was easy if the reserves and the younger players didn't do well. Abels now gets to the left-handed shot, and it's blocked, and a foul is called against Esping. You can't get out there and be running around. I mean, there has to be some goals with your younger players.
And it's important with a game like this right now. Burke has to be a little bit more relaxed, and their younger players or the players that might not get to play as much might be a little bit more relaxed. And it makes it a lot easier for players to play relaxed than it does if you're tense and tight.
Abels with his second chance, he gets it.
With 2:20 left to go, Burke is up 42-16 over Papillion right now.
Big first quarter for Derek Helms of Burke. He is now out of the game. Here's Scala. Morgan and Thurkelson likes to shoot a lot.
Well,
First time I've been able to see him play.
I don't know many players that don't like to shoot a lot, and with the type of style that Burke does have, they do a lot of up and down the court, a lot of running and gunning. I don't like to use that term, but they do get up and down the court very quickly.
As you play the post, you like to have a defense collapse around you, and then you're able to throw out. You personally able to throw back out to the guards or the other forwards who are open? Or do you like to, you want to get shots off yourself?
Well, you know, it's a situation where I don't feel it necessary to score for myself. I like to be able to contribute, you know, in the scoring column, but I do like it when they're not collapsed in tight. It just makes the game a little more exciting for myself. It gets very frustrating if everybody is standing in around you, packed in tight in a zone, or a collapsed man-to-man. It gets annoying when you feel you're open and you can't get the ball because there's two other guys standing right next to you that you don't see. So I would rather play in a more wide-open game.
Steve Dennis hits both. He has 3, all on shots from the charity stripe. Big lead for Burke. Minute 45 left. Papillion getting some full court pressure, but Thurkelson all the way down the side. There's Thomas. Esping will back it out against the Papillion man pressure. Terry thought about it. He's watched by Abels. Another Burke big guy gets out on top. That's Scala. And here's Morgan.
Nice shot off of a feed from the corner. Broke to the open spot in the lane. He got a pass and put it in.
Couple points on that field goal for Odell. Webster open. Head fake. Lost it. Gets it. Nice shot.
Fine move.
Took his time. He has 4 points. Terry Thomas from the top of the key. Webster was denying the basketball as that one is laid in. And there's Terry with it. A lot of Terrys working in this gym tonight, huh, Terry?
You could say that, Terry.
Morgan down with the basketball. 32 seconds left. I was going to say Webster was out high denying the basketball on the top of the key. There's Terry Thomas. There's the basket. 2 straight field goals. Thomas is a sophomore, folks. You heard it right. 12 seconds left. Paul Toole back into the game. That foul is against the sophomore Thomas. That's what I love, Terry, is a coach is able to say 2 more years or 3 more years. You know, you have Tony Manuel out at Northwest, and he was at the free throw line just like Todd Kochi is here. Todd gets it. And he was at the free throw line. We had our end zone shot so capably set up by Kevin Baines that night, who's directing this game with 11 seconds left. I might have to wait to the second half to get it. But Manuel's at the line, and he's only a junior. 1 more year for that player. There's Esping with a shot, and that's going to do it. Well, what a half for the Bulldogs. They lead it 50-21, and Terry Sodawasser and I will be back with that second half in a moment. Sports 9 is at the home of the number 2 rated basketball team in the state tonight, the Omaha Burke Bulldogs, and certainly one of the best teams in the state. And they are showing it here as they are clobbering Papillion by a score of 50-21. Hello again, everyone. I'm Terry Leahy along with Terry Sodawasser, the senior center for the Mavs of UNO's, doing the color tonight with me. I'm glad to have you along tonight. You're seeing a quick team, quick. That's all you can really talk about with Burke, with maybe the exception of Olson, who uses his good size so well in there.
Yeah, Burke is probably one of the quicker teams I've seen play this year. I haven't seen a whole lot of games because of our conflicts and schedules in our games. And I'm glad I had a chance to come out here. There's a lot of fine individuals, talented young men out here, and it's good to see a game like this. Unfortunately, I'm sure the Papillion coach isn't feeling the same way right at the present time, but I'm sure he had a good talk at halftime with his players, and I think it's important for them to come back right now and be very deliberate, take their time, show a lot of patience, and try and get themselves back in this ball game a little bit.
Terry, what do you think of a team that, or what do you think of the philosophy of wanting to get the fast break going as a team concept on offense? Would you think when you have speed like that, it's a good idea if you really have the talent to get a bunch of chances?
Well, I think it's very important for a fast break for any type of game. The transition is an important part of the game of basketball, where you don't have the patterned offenses. You can get away from that and get your patterned offense moving and flowing a little bit better because of the transition. In Burke's situation, they have so much speed and quickness that they rely more on their transition game than they do a patterned offense, I think. So it's a combination of both, actually. I think transition is very important, though.
Burke is in the home white uniforms with the traditional black and gold trim. Their starters from the first half are on the court to get some action here in the third quarter, and we'll see how long John Jonette leads them in as Milton Shobe takes a pass from Dan Olson. Shobe has 10 points now. Derek Helms leads all the scores. He has 11 before he sat down around the beginning of the second quarter. Here's Papillion against his own defense. Quickly inside. Steve Dennis, nice turnaround move.
As I was talking at the beginning of the second half, they have to show their patience and get a good shot like that, and they did.
Jenkins. Shobe with the rebound and the position in the basket. Couple quick field goals for Milton Shobe. Here's Bob Gordon.
Looks to me like Burke is in a 1-2-2, 3-2 type of zone. Again, Papillion is taking the ball right at him, taking the ball inside, trying to draw a foul.
Steve Dennis again with the basket. Here's Helms back the other way. He's in there battling for it. Oh, working against Paul Toole, and the Bulldogs turn it over. Papillion has Crendell Mack starting the second half. He is number 41. And he took a pass on their last possession in the corner, and that's where he positions himself now. Here's Bob Gordon. Inside, Mack. Right-handed, can't get the reverse. 54-25, 6:41 left third quarter. Bruce Peoples rattles it home.
Good penetration by Derek Helms. Free throw line dished off to his open teammate. Converted it for two.
Gordon getting a pass inside and gets it right back. Mack. I was about ready to say heartbreak, but he got it.
It's one of those shooter's touches. Those are the shots that the coach say, please go in. We need a break.
Kevin Boham is 31 in the 2-3. Derek's going to take the time to talk to John Jonette, the Burke coach. Helms on the point. Shobe on one wing, and here's Jenkins on the other with the jumper. Bob Gordon goes in there against Dan Olson. Nice outlet pass to Boham. Bothered enough by Helms. Now the foul.
I think Helms might have got away with a little push in the back there. I think they could have called a foul, but they let it go. And instead,
goes against Bruce Peoples. First team foul of the half for Burke. Robert Watson gets into the game for Jenkins. Let's see what Burke does on defense here. They're in a zone out from underneath the Papillion basket. Here's a race, and Helms usually is going to win that. Toole's back, and he gets it off the glass, but it just doesn't get through the rim. Boham, he'll pull up and get it. And he has his first field goal. Using the pass, Milton Shobe with the glass. Look at Helms in there, he's fouled.
I think we would have had a clean block on that last play if the defensive man would not have swatted. He had his hand straight up, he had the shot blocked, but no, he didn't. He did decide to come down and try and cram it down his throat, and picked up a foul because of it. It's a thing coaches teach a lot nowadays, is to just go straight up.
Dennis has one personal. Derek Helms has the free throw. 12 points. for the All-State senior. First team foul of this half for Papio. And Papillion can get on the offense here. Burke gets into a half-court defense.
Again, they're facing that 3-2, 1-2-2, whichever you want to call it.
They get a turnover. Bruce Peoples is in the middle of that on that back line. 5:12 left, big lead here for the Bulldogs. Not a great amount of difference between number 1 and number 2. Terry, I think it should be 1 and 1A. I'm referring to Northwest, the number 1 ranked team. There's Helms and the foul against Papillion.
Olson took a shot from about 17 feet, and I believe he's quite capable of hitting that shot. Unfortunately, it didn't fall for him there. And again, Burke was on the offensive glass, doing a fine job of that all night, and are converting these into free throws, which can cost you.
2 shots, foul against Dennis, 2 team fouls for the Monarchs, and 2 on Steve. Derek Helms
connects on them both, giving him, I believe, 15.
15. 4 free throws made here in the third quarter. Penetration by Toole, it works. Boham, but it worked as well as you could before Derek Helms comes through the air. He blocked that shot.
Derek Helms, a 5'8" ball player, blocked that shot. He got up very high.
Toole. Good work by Dennis, but the rebound is taken by Shobe after Olson got in the way of the shot. Hangs onto it, and he'll score. That's Derek Helms. Got a break there as he was bumped, and he was able to hang on to the basketball.
There should have been some type of call there. I don't know for sure what it was, but something should have been called.
Bob Gordon gets that backspin in. That's his first 2 points of the game. How about that defense for Burke? Is that kind of a variation of a 1-2-2 when you line up like that?
Yeah, that's basically what it is. That's, as I said before, I didn't know exactly how you want to call it. At UNO, we call it a 3-2. It's the same type of thing that Burke is running now, but they have their middleman up a little bit higher. So I guess you could call it a 1-2-2.
Boham across Bob Gordon free throw line, rolls it. Gordon 4 points all in this quarter.
Papillion in a 2-3.
A tough pass in there to Watson, and he comes up with the basketball. Quick passing works as Show puts it in. I'd hate to be getting in the way of those snap push passes. He has 14. Here's that defense we were talking about. Dennis working very hard in there. Here comes Olson. Nice jump pass on the right hand of that man, Derek Helms. Put it down.
We have a mass of substitutions coming in for Papillion. It looks like they're bringing in 5 new fresh players. With 2:57 to go in the game, Papillion calls timeout. Behind 66-33. Burke has doubled their score.
Going to make the substitutions. That is the second timeout called by Dick Muma, the coach of Papillion, so he'll have a couple left. Burke still has their full amount, and they're not going to need it tonight. We will remind you tonight for something later this week, Metro Sports Update. That is Cox Cable's weekly roundup of high school sports. And you can see that at 6:30 on Wednesday night. And then before you head out for the games on Friday, you can catch Tori Pantalion's show at 5:30. Terry, this is the first time I've been able to work with you, and I want to point out that Tori Pantalion, as far as I'm concerned, is the king of the hub men, Mr. Beantown. He's from Boston. He loves to talk about the Bruins. He watches the Bruins on cable, but I'll tell you, you have to be careful with the Celtics, and I know, and be careful if you're a Julius Erving fan, because he's going to talk about the parquet floor, and I think it hurts Torrey when he comes into gyms and they don't have that kind of floor.
Well, Torrey is a different. I don't even know how to describe Torrey actually, Terry. He's just one of a kind.
I'll say this so much, and he doesn't know this, as Kelly Muma gets that one in. Boy, he could shoot that shot too. Muma's first two, and that's hurt Papillion. This is my first anniversary working with Cox, and I'd like to thank all of the people at that operation for the tremendous help and the great professionalism that they've shown in all the events they cover locally here in Omaha. And Torrey and all the bunch and Jim Carmichael, it's been something else, folks. 2 minutes and 9 seconds left. Peoples inside.
3 seconds was called there on Burke. I don't know exactly who it was. I didn't see anybody in the lane that long. Obviously the man in the striped shirt down there did.
Bruce was way under the basket, and that would have been a tough shot. Here's Muma again. Got to get that shot off.
Same spot before he hit the last one.
Helms, look at the bounce pass to Robert Watson. Watson with 8. Helms made it go. Traffic all around, on the move. There's a good penetration pass, and the jumper goes in. Redrow has it. Minute 24 left. I'm Terry Leahy along with Terry Sodawasser with the action here from Burke High on Sports 9. Helms has been around, and he gets his elbow up, flips it backwards. There's Show with a basket. 4 field goals for Milton. Well, I saw Burke run this defense against Northwest as Kocha launches a nice jumper and he gets it. I saw him run it, Terry, against Northwest, and I felt, well, that would help them against a guy like Jeff Wilmes for Northwest, who's their fine player, their forward, kind of their Dan Olson type. Really helps make that team go underneath, kind of help them on the wing. Papillion here with a 2-3.
I have to say I don't quite understand Burke's offensive scheme here. They have Dan Olson, the biggest player by far on the floor at 6'5", out on the wing, probably almost too far out of his range. I don't know quite what the coach has in mind with this offense. I know Dan is a fine passer.
Olson and Helms leave. Scala, number 54, is in. As that shot goes in for Webster. Levi, a sophomore, has 6 points, has played pretty well. Yeah, Olson in the holiday tournament in the championship game that you saw on Sports 9 was a real cog in a 4 corners they ran in the third quarter. At the buzzer, Show. 72-41 is the score. Burke over Papillion. And we'll talk a little bit more about all the offenses that are being run and the defenses as Terry and I will be back with the fourth quarter in a moment. The fourth quarter is about to get underway here from Burke High School on Sports 9. I'm Terry Leahy along with Terry Sodawasser, and we were talking about the offense that this fine Omaha Burke team runs, and there's Papillion getting out there to face it. And Olson gets out there and he can handle the basketball. And I was telling you, Terry, in that championship game, a great game against Northwest, he was very important out there. And it was, you know, we were down on the floor on our broadcast spot at the auditorium, and there were no problems. I was looking. It was the first time I'd really seen them run that. I had their game against Prep, but I was thinking, Olson 6'5", what's he doing out here with the basketball? Hey, he just did fantastic that night, and he's proven to me that it's no problem for him.
Well, he looks like he's very comfortable out there, so I think it's important, you know, that's an important key to Burke's success, is to have everybody in the positions that they're comfortable with.
Todd Kocha for Papillion. Well, he doesn't get a huge amount of lift on that basketball. He just kind of pries it in there, but it goes with no rim being touched.
Papillion's now in a 1-3-1 defense, his own defense. I wouldn't be surprised if you might see a little trapping out of this to try and make things happen a little bit.
Player control foul, third of the half. or the second team foul for Burke. It goes against Schob. He has one personal. Odell Morgan is in for Milton. And Schob leaves with 8 in the first half. And he has 18 for the game, and he probably will be gone for the night. Jenkins, outlet. Let's watch it go here for Burke. 4 Monarchs are back. Morgan cuts up high. That's Jenkins. Back to Bruce Peoples. And Papillion stops it. There's a pivot man, Scala. He's up high too. 6'5" senior. Very active, wants to do well here. And that's put in by Peoples in traffic.
I think with all the talent that Burke does have on this ball club, Coach Jeanette believes that he can pull his big men up high, get the ball to them so they can see the court and get the passes into those people that are open.
Won't go for Coach. A nice big rebound by Morgan. Burke on the outlet. Peoples follows his shot, but Webster gets the outlet, and the big outlet down for Redrow, who can't get it. Papillion fans want to call there, and there's the whistle. Well, they might have felt there was vibrating the backboard or slapping it.
I believe there was a goaltending call there that the official might not have picked up. They might have had a little disadvantage from the standpoint from where we were at, but I think the rim, the backboard was slapped. I think there was a little interference and vibration to cause that ball not to go in.
Foul on Scala. Morgan and Peoples leave. Esping is in the game, number 32, along with Thurkelson. And that's Abels with the free throw there for the Monarchs. He has 4 points tonight. Burke by 30. 6:20 left. You know, we were away on that break, Terry. I was talking about this is my first year, first anniversary with Sports 9, but I was thinking they're in that truck probably thinking, oh no, it's been that long? I'm sitting there thinking, isn't that great, Tori? Isn't that great, Kevin Baines? But all the fellas, they're going to be so happy for me.
I'm sure that they don't feel it's been quite as long a year as you think.
Here is Esping trying to get the basketball to Thurkelson, who was covered well by Toole.
Burke is being a little more patient with the offense right now, trying to find an open shot, trying to find that seam with a 2-3.
Out.
That official has some quick hands, let me tell you.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim Spencer.
He's acting like nothing's happening. Boy, I tell you, something happened on that pass.
Scott Abels. Numa is in the corner on the weak side. Now he'll have the ball. Look at Jenkins get over to cover it. Number 52. Nice jumper again by Kocha.
He seemed to got the hot hand right now. I think it's important for him to, for Papillion to get him to the ball. I believe he's probably hit 3 or 4 jumpers this half, and I think it's important when a man has the hot hand to find him.
He has 11. Thurkelson won't go. Quick outlet, Kocha from Webster. 2 Bulldogs back. Pulls up. Had too much momentum. The break for Burke, led by Jenkins. Oh, they're really snapping that thing around. That's Esping trying to roll it to the baseline for Dana. Won't go. Do you have to work hard on that outlet? Is it a constant practice when you're practicing your break, Terry?
That's the key to the entire transition game is the outlet. You've got to get the rebound, get the ball out quick. It's the most important aspect of any type of game. I think it's to control the rebound and get the outlet to get a team breaking.
Damon Ross came into the game and he made a defensive play there out of bounds to Papio. Well, that's a beautiful play when you centers can make it like that. You have different options when you want to make that pass.
Well, at UNO, what we do is we have the option of throwing the outlet. If the outlet's covered, we give our guards a pump fake and we throw it just to the far corner of the gym and let them run under it. It gives them a chance to get down the court a little bit faster.
There's Ross. And there is Esping. Nice jump shot.
The 1-3-1 zone that Papillion is playing, I think, is bothering Burke a little bit. There seems to be a little bit hesitant on their ball movements. They're not real crisp.
Nice shot by Scott Abels. He has 6. 3:45 left.
I have to give Papillion a lot of credit right now. They're still down 26. They're still fighting with only 3.5 minutes left to go in this game. But I'm a lot more impressed in the second half. I think the coach did a fine job of settling them down a little bit. I think they're taking some good shots, and they're trying to get themselves back into this game a little bit.
Todd and Kocha, they have played well. They've done a lot of good things in the second half.
They've taken care of the ball a lot better. The defense has picked up a lot more. Their intensity is a lot better. Like I said before, you know, Coach Muma has a tradition, and they're fighting right now to try and keep that tradition in hand.
Scala was being denied the basketball by Webster. It worked. And after the shot from the outside, Papillion can get some more points here.
Score Burke 76, Papillion 52 with 2:45 left to go in the game.
Esping. Damon Ross has it. Ross on the baseline. Hits that side of the plane. But Scala's there and Pete has it.
It's the importance of having a big man get down the floor on the break. Got an easy basket because he hustled.
Third timeout taken by Papillion, so they'll have one more left, and they'll give Terry and I a chance to talk about some basketball because they've really been flying up and down the court, and Burke has 78 points, and we talked about the Monarchs playing well in the second half, particularly Paul Toole and Todd Kocha, and Todd has 13 points, and he has 4 field goals in the second half.
Well, I think it's quite evident, Terry, that Papillion is playing a lot better. They gave up 50 points in the first half, which is a lot of points to give up. And right now, with 2.5 minutes to go in the game, Burke has only scored 28. That may seem like a lot, but when you watch the running up and down the court that they are doing, they've slowed Burke down, and I think they've pulled him out of their transition game a little bit.
Dick Muma talks to his team, and he's accomplished some goals in the second half. And there are 2 minutes and 28 seconds left here in the game. What are some goals you'd like to accomplish the rest of the way, Terry, at your level?
Well, right now we had 2 big home games coming up Friday and Saturday night that we'd like to win against South Dakota State and Augustana. South Dakota State 16-2 right now, you know, number 1 in the conference. And Augustana beat us at Sioux Falls by 2 at the buzzer, a 35-footer. So we want to get a little revenge back with them. It's important for us to start playing well. We've been in a little bit of a slump, but we're coming around. Our goals right now are just to play well.
Bob Hansen, along with a lot of other college coaches, are quite interested on what is going on out here at 120th and Dodge with the talent out here at Burke, and also across the backyard over to Northwest High School with some of the players they have.
Yeah, I agree completely. I don't think it's just the college level coaches right now. I see, as I look around the gym, there have been a lot of high school team coaches here out scouting this game for a future reference.
Burke has Westside coming up. Another big backyard battle. Tom Hall, the fine coach of the Warriors, is in attendance. Muma gets his 4th point of the game, 2 field goals. That foul will be against Scott Abels, his 2nd. And the man going to the line is Damon Ross. He'll have 2. Papillion has 4 team fouls. Well, it's been interesting talking about the defense is with you, and I've seen Burke run that 3-2, and that's the terminology that the Mavs like to use on that defense end.
Yeah, the 3-2 is a good defense to have against a good perimeter shooting team that likes to shoot the ball up at the top. And I think Papillion bases a lot of their offense on the outside shot from the top because they don't have a great deal of size. So Burke did go to the 3-2, and they did shut him down for the most part for a while, and Papillion finally showed a little bit more patience and got the ball around quickly like they're doing right now and gets some easy shots.
Scott Abels with the penetration, and he lays it in. On the backhand almost. 1 minute left in the game. Morgan can make things happen from there. He dumps the pass to Ross. That's Robert Watson battling Paul Toole, and Odell Morgan is in there, and a foul is called.
Papillion has cut this lead from a 29-point lead at halftime down to 19 right now. I think they've showed character here, and it's quite obvious that they are playing hard. I imagine these young men are rather tired.
Robert Watson picks up his second personal foul. Redrow into the game along with Kocha, Abels, and Kelly Muma leave for the Monarchs. John Johnette said that the game against Northwest last week was one of the greatest high school games he has ever seen. Just a great high school game. That shot is taken by Toole. And I'd have to say it was one of the top 10 I've seen in the 10 years I've really followed the high school sports here in the Metro Conference.
Well, being from out of state, I'm not real familiar with some of the schools around the Omaha area. Tonight I think I've seen one of the better in the state, in Burke. I have to give them a lot of credit. I think they're a very good ball team. And I'm sure that there's going to be a lot of schools that are going to want to go out and beat them. I think Burke is going to give them a tough time of it, though.
A lot of people are starting to talk about a Burke Northwest matchup in the state tournament. Fremont and Lincoln East will have a few things to say about that. The game last week, Terry, it was a regular season game. The holiday tournament matchup was for a championship. You got the city title out of that. You got a plaque to put in the trophy case. And that was a more important game than the one last week, but it was a regular season battle, and it was just out of this world. And then again, if they were to meet in state, obviously that would be the most important matchup. But it's really something when you get young players like Manuel's a junior, Olson for Burke is a junior, Manuel for the Northwest Huskies. And I was saying, you get fans running around saying when you have a sophomore, especially a sophomore, you could say, 3 more years, this is going to be 3 more years of this. I remember that when Kerry Trotter and Ron Kellogg were sophomores, the Northwest fans and the Creighton Prep fans, that was a chant that was going on when those players are doing so well as sophomores. 31 seconds left. Burke on their way to their 14th victory of the season, and they're ranked number 2.
It's been a very convincing win for Burke. I think they have dominated the game through its entirety, although Papillion has had its good points tonight. I think they showed a lot of heart, which is very important in this game.
There's Damon Ross, one of the juniors, and he has to get his skills down as a ball handler and a point guard. He's a junior, and he will be the heir apparent to Derek Helms' throne. There's a nice jump hook by Brian Redrow. Steve Dennis to end the game, and the buzzer sounds. And Burke has that 14th win of the season. And what do you think of high school basketball in Omaha?
Well, I've been very impressed with all the games that I've seen and all the teams that I've seen because they do work hard, and that's important in any aspect of the game, but it's also very important to have fun. And I think all the players that are out in the court are having fun, and I enjoy watching it when teams have fun like this.
Terry, you've been here you played 4 years now. You're a senior at UNO, and you've really seen the level in this conference really go up, and I've talked about it. This place has turned into quite a hotbed for high school basketball. We had that class of 82, and you could count Bill Jackman out at Grant. He was in that class. In the Metro Conference, we had that Trotter, Lazzaretti, Hoppin, Kellogg class, and James Moore played here at Burke, and he was part of that group. But now you have Northwest and Burke with fine teams. Omaha North has Trenton Flowers, who's going to be going to UNL to play football, and Brett Coffey and those guys. The level is really something. We've had Larry Brown in here. We've had colleges interested. Mo Iba, he was on our Sports 9 cameras here watching Jerry Johnson out at Benson. So you've seen quite a bit in your years here at UNO, and I'd like to thank you for joining us at the mic tonight, as this game has been brought to you by Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Nebraska. For Terry Sodawasser and our entire Cox Cable Omaha Sports 9 crew, this is Terry Leahy saying so long, everyone.